Christmas.
The South Today Bulletin, proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Tonight on the South Today, celebrations for a Queenstown food charity as community support helps it move into a new home. Otago residents throw the dice on a local version of a classic board game in time for Christmas. And some native species on Otago Peninsula may have a saving grace thanks to a furry conservationist. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Hannah Wilkins. Christmas is coming early for the Queenstown branch of charity KiwiHarvest, which was on borrowed time just 4 months ago. It was hit by news of government budget cuts to the nationwide food sector in August, but the community rallied around to ensure services could continue in the area.
Celebrations all round as Queenstown's food rescue charity KiwiHarvest moves into a new temporary depot at 5 Mile Frankton. The charity was forced to find a new home earlier in the year after government cuts to the food rescue sector. However, the Wakatipu community rallied together to help save the local operation, raising enough money so the team could move to the new outdoor location.
We also raised another over 70,000 between all different community fundraising efforts that went straight to making this depot happen. That's from non-uniform days at the school where we seen you last to Lions Clubs, Rotary Club.
Queenstown branch manager Gary Hugh is confident the temporary site will be able to run at the same level as their previous Glenda Drive depot. It's equipped with 2 chilled and 2 dry storage containers. KiwiHarvest founder Deborah Manning was in town to see the Queenstown branch in action and is proud of the work done by her local manager to keep the operation going through difficult times.
He is one of the best employees I have ever had the good fortune to work with. He is absolutely dedicated to the cause, not only for the environmental reasons, but also because of the food insecurity in Queenstown.
KiwiHarvest expects to be working out of these containers for around 3 years. Its new permanent base will be the last area completed as a part of the soon-to-be-built Wakatipu Community Hub. In Queenstown, the South Today.
A popular Dunedin cafe and bakery is preparing to shut up shop after more than a year of back and forth with the City Council. Side On announced it's closing its doors for good next Friday, blaming infrastructure upgrades being done by the DCC in the area. A collapsed watercourse pipe on Bath Street between Lower Stewart Street and Moray Place needs replacing, but part of the pipe runs underneath the cafe's premises. The owners of Side On have apologised to their loyal customers about the abrupt end, claiming they explored other options for a new home, but nothing panned out. The pipe replacement work is part of a major stormwater, wastewater and water pipe upgrade in Bath Street. Work is due to begin next April and is expected to take more than a year to complete. Otago residents can now pass go and collect $200 in their own hometowns after an iconic board game gets another local version. The Otago Daily Times has launched its own special edition of Monopoly, just in time to make its way onto people's Christmas wish lists.
One roll of the dice can change the game, with some of Otago's hottest properties on the line. The Otago Daily Times has launched a special local edition of the iconic board game Monopoly to celebrate the wider Otago region and the newspaper's 162-year history. The board game features different towns and cities from around Otago, along with some dams and cycleways, using images from the ODT's archives to represent the different locations on the board.
So we've got that iconic imagery totally localised to Otago, and now we've got our own Monopoly. So we're really excited about that and bringing it to the market. Holdridge
says the locations and colours were decided based on property values, Queenstown taking the dark blue for most expensive, while Milton and Palmerston slot into the brown. The Otago edition follows the success of a Southland regional edition released late last year. That initial run sold out, prompting the Southland Business Chamber to order another 4,000 board games in September. Christchurch also got its own edition last month after a citywide vote for the landmarks residents wanted to see on the board.
We sort of thought, well, why not? We have to give Otago its own Monopoly board, and that was really where it came from.
The ODT's new Monopoly game will also support the community, with $5 from every board sold going to the Cancer Society. Allied Press says there's been an outstanding response to the new board game, with the initial 500 games already shipped in time for Christmas. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Bagpipes rang out through central Dunedin this morning as Otago University graduates made their way through town. Proud families and friends lined the streets, watching on as university students marched through the city's centre and Octagon. Redevelopment work along George Street forced the parade to take a different route, walking from Christchurch and around to the town hall. Graduates from arts and science degrees and diplomas celebrated their hard years of work, with the gloomy Dunedin weather holding back the rain for the parade. Students attended one of two graduation ceremonies at the Dunedin Town Hall on Wednesday afternoon to finally get their cap and official certificate, with another pair of graduations being held this Saturday. A Dunedin conservation group is on a mission to eradicate wild pests from the peninsula with the help of a friendly furry canine. The Otago Peninsula Biodiversity Group is aiming to completely remove possums from the area to help protect the surrounding wildlife.
Sophie, the possum hunting hound, hard at work, looking for small wild pests around Dunedin's urban areas. The Otago Peninsula Biodiversity Group recruited her to help them on their 13-year mission to fully eradicate possums, including the infamous Te Raone bandit. But Sophie might have caught the last one of that particular breed, with her tally for the year at an impressive 73 animals.
She's actively hunting, using largely ground scent if they've been moving around the night before, air scent when she gets close to a den site. Then she'll go in, try and zero in on the den site and bail that possum in place until I show up with the firearm to dispatch it.
The 5-year-old Collie Cross German short-haired pointer was trained for this job since she was 8 weeks old and has located nearly 1,000 of the pests over her career.
Sophie's amazing because she finds the possums in their dens, and possums being nocturnal, they sleep in the daytime, so it's super convenient for us. We don't have to be out all night.
The Otago Peninsula Biodiversity Group say they've removed almost 24,000 possums to date from the area, with their project set to wind up around the middle of next year. In Dunedin, the South Today.
E whai Akane, still to come on the South Today. Santa leaves the elves in charge of toy making while he drops into Gore's festive parade. And with 11 days until Christmas, we look back at some of the big news stories from June.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Such a sweet girl. What are you dreaming about?
Just music.
The Power of Dreams by Honda.
Here at Age Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Tinakwe, welcome back. With less than a fortnight until Christmas Day, Santa is taking a break from toy making and continuing his tour around the South Island. Carols, sirens and cheers rang out in Gore over the weekend as the town welcomed the big man himself to town.
It's not the usual traffic you'd expect to see in the main street of Gore. The Southland town held its annual Santa Parade on Sunday, with 35 festively decorated floats joining the lineup. The colourful parade was led by the Hokanui Celtic Pipe Band, with a large crowd of residents lining up through the centre of town to catch a glimpse of Santa Claus and his reindeer.
We've got all our food trucks, stage entertainment, we've got stool holders and like fake snow machines going, so it's been a really fun, as free as possible day out for families.
One float stood out from the crowd, Gore's Filipino community taking out top honours in this parade for its traditional sailing boat decorated in the colours of the Philippines.
They had a walking group as well as the float, and you could just tell they had put in a lot of effort over and above the standard hours that you would put in after work.
Organisers say while the turnout was smaller than last year, they were glad the Southland weather didn't impact on the parade or prevent people from getting into the Christmas spirit. In Gore, the South Today.
Well, now we continue our look back at the Southern News Year in review. And as winter began to bite in June and cold temperatures hit the regions, then Prime Minister Chris Hipkins took a trip down south and voices and guitars twanged in Gore.
A 340-kilometre high-speed car chase came to a head in Waitati in late June. There were no injuries, but a 30-year-old man was charged for dishonestly taking a vehicle, dangerous driving and failing to stop. But the plunging temperatures didn't prevent a fire from destroying beloved Caversham pub Mitchell's Tavern, which was determined to have been caused by an electrical fault. Dunedin welcomed then Prime Minister Chris Hipkins to the south. He was met with a vocal crowd at Otago University with protests against the institution's financial crisis.
We're certainly focused on helping them out by giving them quite a large increase in funding next year.
As June brought the official start of winter, Dunedinites ran into the icy ocean waters to support the St Clair Surf Lifesaving Club, while swimmers in central Otago braved Lake Wanaka for their own polar plunge. But the cooler temperatures were welcomed by some as Wanaka's Cadrona ski area opened for the winter season. Closer to Queenstown, skiers and snowboarders jostled to be the first of the season to ride the chairlift at Coronet Peak.
Obviously it's good bragging rights having the t-shirt, and for me this is my summer, this is the time of year when I enjoy myself.
Down south in Gore, music was echoing through the town as local school students hit the streets with their best beats for the Freeze Your Bits Off busking competition, part of the Gold Guitar Festival.
It's a judge between kapa haka and jazz, which is going on behind us. But just so fantastic and great to see the high school students out here, and we're on to the juniors next up, which will be good fun.
And the musical talent didn't stop there. The Country Music Honours also putting a spotlight on Gore, with Dunedin songwriter Matt Joe Gow taking out the top award. Across the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Christmas came early for Queenstown's KiwiHarvest as the local community helps the charity into a temporary new home. The Otago Daily Times has launched its own regional edition of the Monopoly board game just in time for Christmas. And Sophie, the possum hunting dog, has been doing exactly that, sniffing out pests on the peninsula to help save our native species. And now we'll look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We welcome our editor, Paul McIntyre. Hello, Paul.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
What can we expect to read in tomorrow's paper?
Plenty. We've got an investigation that has found Dunedin's Mayor Jules Reddit has brought himself into disrepute after a race round. And anyone who was out and about in Dunedin today might have found it fairly busy. We've got obviously another graduation and a couple of cruise ships around town.
Yes,
so
we did.
pretty packed. And then we've got a self-confessed cheeky attempt to upsize a meeting between wind farm opponents and developer Conta Energy led to the power giant canning the meeting.
Right, okay.
So that's
more on
about
that
it.
tomorrow.
But there's plenty more too.
Thank you for sharing this evening, Paul. We appreciate your time.
No problem.
Time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, well, another day of southwesterly airflow ahead tomorrow, but the winds will be easing and milder temperatures are on the way for Friday. Heading to the top of the South Island. Nelson's looking fine but breezy with a warm 19 degrees, while Greymouth and Christchurch get up to 18 with southwesterlies and clear skies. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago. Fine for Ashburton and Timaru tomorrow with southwesterlies and highs of 18 degrees. To Oamaru, and it's a windy day with 16 degrees. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes. Light southwesterlies make their way through the valleys here with lots of sunshine and warm 19-degree highs for Queenstown, Wanaka and Alexandra. Heading further south, westerlies are inbound through here tomorrow with 17-degree highs in Gore and Balclutha, while the Catlins is in for a cloudy day along the coast with decreasing winds and 16 degrees. Across to Invercargill, windy and showery tonight with an 8-degree low. Fresh tomorrow with a clear and sunny afternoon with 14 as the high, and Friday's much warmer with 20 degrees, changing winds and a spot of rain at times too. And finally heading to Dunedin. Strong to gale southwesterlies tonight as it drops down to 10 degrees. Then Thursday's windy in the city with a high of 16 degrees. And Friday a complete turnaround with lots of sunshine and a 23-degree high, but do carry a brolly in the afternoon in case of late showers. And that's the news this Wednesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. You can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand, or follow us over on Facebook. Just search for the South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite o popo.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.
The South Today Bulletin, proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.